All right, good morning, guys. Let's wait for another few minutes for others. Then we'll start the class. So, meantime, please provide me your details in case you missed out the last class. Your name, your phone number, and your email ID. If you already shared, you can ignore. The rest, whoever not shared, please provide your details. All right. So, in the last class, we discussed about some basic points, right? The process, the background, the capabilities, the different type of capabilities, what it is providing by the Microsoft Fabric, and the different type of modules that we have under data storages, different type of storages that we have. Yes, any background, whatever your background you have, can join, can go for this course. Whether you are non-technical background, become background like BCom, MCom, whatever it is, you have a degree or not, that is more important. You have some experience already, whatever the work you're doing, whatever the work in your existing company. Because when we go to the technical kind of interviews, they just see your skills. Okay, that is completely on you how you will take the interviewer accordingly, they will select. So HR to HR, they just see whether you are working in that company or not. They'll just see that part. They never ask what is your technology you're working, what project you're working. They never ask or they never disclose your company, X company. Even in the people who are coming from BPO background, they're also joining because they're showing there they are working in MIS system. They're showing the MIS system. Now they want to upgrade into a databases. Okay, so any background you can join this course. There's no restriction. You need to have only data engineer. I mean the engineer background or technical background. No, you can go any degree, diploma. Anyone can join this course. If you see in the companies, most of the people who work on the BI modules are like non-technical background. Most of the people I see. So any background you can go for this process, whether it's a data engineer, data analysis, data science, AI model, other things. This all can be done inside your Fabric. So data ingestion. So different type of data storages that you have in your database, sorry, in your Fabric. And data ingestion is from where you can extract a data, process, load, transform. This is all you are going to see in regular class. And today I'm going to show you one practical example so that you'll get more idea what exactly we do in real time. So I prepared one mini project. You can see this is called one of the architecture called medallion architecture, which and it is not a new architecture. The people are coming here have a 10 years of experience, 12 years experience. They know the earlier how we are handling it in on premises. We are handling in on premises by using some methods like staging layer, before EDW layer, pre-EDW layer, data warehouse layer. Now the same architecture we are calling here as with different names. With different names we are calling it. Bronze layer, silver layer, gold layer. So by seeing this architecture you can understand what we are going to do. We need to schedule a master pipeline. The master pipeline do the work end to end. Extraction the data from where? From the different places, whether it is your application, whether it's from the on-premises, whether it's your data lake from your Azure or any other cloud. These are my source. This is my source from where I get the data. And that data we are going to extract by using a different type of load, whether it is a full load, delta load, incremental load, any type of load. We need to perform some incremental or delta or any other format of load. For that, we need to design one data pipeline. We need to design a data pipeline. And that information, whatever you extract, you need to store in one staging layer, one landing area we call, one place, one drive where we store our data. Because when you extract, you have to store somewhere else, right? This is called bronze lakehouse. There is no name with a bronze, there is a lake house. With the name called lake house, we are going to design that is only for the staging, that is only for the landing area. That is called bronze lake house. What exactly we store in the bronze lake house? The data we store in the bronze lake house are like raw data, natural format of data, natural format of data, no filter data. So this all data we store inside the bronze lakehouse, that is called staging lakehouse. That is called staging lakehouse. So we are treating it as bronze lakehouse, right? And from there we are going to do some transformations by using your Spark notebooks, by using generally with known as Databricks in Azure concept. But here we have own our Spark architecture inbuilt in Fabric. Spark architecture, data flow, Power Query, activities, and many more other transformations are there to work with this module. Okay, so this is called a transformation area. So from there, we move transform clean data to the silver lakehouse. Can we see a practical one by one? Let's see. So first I need a data sources. Any data source you can take. Okay, let's take the Azure data lake. Okay, so first I'll show you the data lakehouse. All right, one second, guys. There is an issue. All right, clear. Now let's continue the portal called the portal called portal.azure.com. In the last class, I told to work with Azure, we have a portal called portal.azure.com. This is a place where we extract our data lake data or any other data. So we need to have the account in Azure portal, and this is a free account which Microsoft giving you, and it is up to they are providing you 200 USD dollars to the credits, and we can utilize the 200 USD dollars for our data processing or services creation. So first I'm going to log into portal.azure.com. This is a place where I'm going to create a data sources. I'm going to create data sources. Right now, let's see how to create. So simply log into the portal.azure.com. I'm going to create the one storage. Don't worry about the overview of this process. We will see again in the regular class from the tomorrow. Mostly click on create. There are different types of storages that we have in Azure that completely we'll going to discuss. Okay, this is a Vinay Tech demo resource group. This is my project name, and my storage name is data lake storage gen 2, a new account. And where we want to load physically there is a data centers. So there are physical data centers are there. I'm just selecting those physical data center because we are not storing in our local on-premises, right? We are storing in a cloud. When we talk about cloud, it has to store somewhere else in the backend, right? Somewhere it has to store in backend. So that is the location I'm providing it. And what type of data you want? Blob storage or data lake storage. And there is a redundancy is there. What is a redundancy? Redundancy is something like a copy of the data you're storing in the East US location. Your data is storing in the East US location. But if anything is happened to that location, who is responsible for that? Because we also working for a client. We also working for a client, right? So if data is something is happened, like nowadays you're seeing the war, right? Multiple different countries. So if something has happened to that location, how we can bring? So Microsoft itself, they will take a redundancy to multiple different locations. There is a LRS is there is a GRS is there, zone is there, geographical is there, multiple different locations. When you talk about LRS, there is a locally in that location 3 copies of data will be maintained. When we talk about geographically in the nearby country, they'll maintain 3 copies of data. When we talk about zone, let's suppose in India we have 3 different locations. In 3 different locations they'll maintain. So those are LRS, GRS in this one. If you want, you can just search Azure storage redundancy, data redundancy in Azure storage account. When we talk about LRS, 3 copies of data will maintain. When we talk about 3 copies of data will be maintained. Okay. When we talk about all right. Sorry guys, there was an internet fluctuation. Okay. So there are LRS, local redundancy, 3 copies of data, zone-wise 3 copies of data in different locations. Let's suppose we talk about India, we have 3 different locations, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai. Similarly, we talk about geographically, nearby country, whatever the nearby countries are, that is treated as secondary region. So these are like how copies of data which Microsoft will take care, that is not our headache, right? Let's see here. And we are not going to worry about this backup. They're going to take care about this backup and all. You no need to worry about this backup. They will take care for high redundancy. Clear? Now, what is data leak? You may have a doubt. Sir, what is a data leak? Earlier, you might be seeing like big data for Hadoop, Yarn, and many other um, tools for processing your big data and storing your data. So similarly, for here we use a data lake which store any formats of data, and there is a different generation that we have for the data lake. And earlier we were storing a data in traditional method like getting a data from the sources systems, processing through ETL, and then we are processing to the data warehouse. If any changes are required, we have to again go to the source system. We have to take a modification. We have to do it. But there is not having option to process different formats. So you need to have more structured format, traditional format. Then we got a concept called data lake, where you can store any format of data as a staging layer, as a raw layer, structured, semi-structured, unstructured capabilities. And now we are going to work on lake houses. What is the lake houses? The lake houses is a combination of warehouse and data lake is equivalent to your data lake house. The layer you are seeing is called delta layer. The layer which you are seeing extra part here is delta layer, which enables the database properties. So what is the database property? Going further, you will get to know. Okay. As of now, my storage is ready. That is called data lake storage. I can create one container like a folder called ADLS logs, you can say Azure data logs. I will upload some files from here. Let's upload some files. Let's bring some data, and I'm uploading some files, some CSV format, a Parquet format. Do you have any Parquet format? Anyone know what is a Parquet format? How data stores? Can you read this data? I want to read the product Parquet format. Can I read this data? You cannot read this data. Can I read the CSV data? Yes, we can read this data at least. Now this is my actually data present in my source. You got this module now. Now what you need to do with this module, you have to implement in Fabric. So how to implement? So first I'm going to pick the data pipeline. Very important. So to log into the Fabric, we need to have another portal called fabric.app.fabric.com. And here I'm going to create some workload items. What is that workload items? It may be for your data processing, data engineering, ETL, or any other modules. What you want, the workload. With the data, you can do all these operations. So for that, first you need to create a project here also. I want to create a project, new workspace we call here. The workspace is Vinay tag, the demo workspace. And I'm going to allocate here as a capacity called free capacity. If you have a capacity, you can just go this option. If you have a capacity, if you are working with free account, go with free, which is almost equivalent to F64 capacity. So this license will be called with capacity units. So we have Fabric capacity units. There are different types and different models of capacity units. Start with F2 and so on. This is called a kind of computation power. This is called computation power because you're not creating in your on-premises to pick the RAM and memory. This is something you're running in a cloud. When you run in a cloud, you require some computation power. This is my estimation cost per month. Sir, what it contain the capacity unit? You may have a doubt. Yes, you are right. You will have a doubt. So capacity contain, as I told you, the capacity units, which is around each capacity unit have a different range, different operations, different processors, different memories, shared modules, cost, yearly, license, the Power BI license. So this is how we calculate. And in Fabric, we have different modules: data science, data engineering, lake houses. We are not changing their kind of engines that we use. If you talk about Power BI backend, it uses vertical pack engine, Power BI service engine, or vertical pack engine we call Power Query, data factory, pipeline engine, data science, data warehouse, lakehouse, data engineering, Spark architecture. We are not changing any engine, but backend it store all the information in Parquet format. Parquet format one lake storage in the backend. To store all your data with metadata, it store in backend as only one lake store. That is the reason, along with capacity, your pricing will be with one lake storage separately. And what is this? This is based on the hot, cool, and cold. This is something like the frequency of accessing the data. How frequency you use, rarely, infrequently, frequently, archive, backup, the prices will be changes. Remember this point. Even you take your Google Drive, it is going to give you 15 GB, right? After 15 GB, Google also will ask you, please go and upgrade your storage. You take in iPhone also, 5 GB cloud, they'll give you iCloud. After that, what? They'll ask you to upgrade your cloud. And in that also, how frequently you access the data. You just want to store a backup, then there's a different pricing. right? So it is very important. So here, as of now, I'm creating my project with a free. What free? F64 capacity. This range is going to give you Microsoft Fabric for free for 2 months to use these services. Now I'm going to create the workspace and click on apply. Your project is ready now. My workspace is ready. Now what you want? You want here is the data pipeline and you want a lake house to store the data back in lake house. So first I will create lake house here. So where is the lake house? Here I will search. These are my work items. These are my work items. So I want a lake house. This is my bronze lake house for demo. Click create. So I told you the lake house is a combination of structure, semi-structured, unstructured data with combination of RDBMS enabled, data query enabled. So can you see I want to bring my data in this file here. I will create one folder. The folder is ADLS, Azure ADLS logs or files, you can say. We call logs. Here I want to bring up files. From where? From Azure. From here I want to bring all these files. But how you going to bring in the file? I want to go back in my project. I want to go back into the project. Guys, please mute your mics. Whatever doubts, question is there, I will answer once the class is complete. Okay, just give me some time because it is very difficult to complete in 1 hour. All right. So note it down, no problem. You can post me your doubts. I will answer all your doubts and questions. Okay, fine. So when we go with bronze, I mean the lake house, leave about the names. When we go with the lake house going to give you few things. Lake house will give you the SQL analytics endpoint that is called writing a query by default. And there is a semantic model it will give you. Two things. So how to utilize? I'll show you now. So before that, I just want to create one more work item. One more work item called data pipeline. This pipeline is bring or load a data from the Azure to Fabric Lakehouse. Azure what? Azure storage? ADLS. Azure Data Lake Storage to Fabric Lakehouse. For that, I want to create one pipeline. What pipeline? Pipeline is going to extract and load the data. So let's see how we are going to load by using the activities. Very, very important activities here. Okay, so very, very important activities. So here you can see different types of activities we have. Alert activity, invoke activity, send mail alert activity, notification activities. As of now, I just want to work with data load activity, copy data activity, which copies the data from Azure to Fabric. Azure to Fabric. This is I want. So let's see what is your source. I have to create here. Browse all. Now this is what the Fabric is giving the inbuilt connectors. You can see maximum all type of sources you can bring a data. All type of data you can bring from all the places. But as of now, I want to bring from Azure. I'll select Azure. Where is your data? Data is in the data lake. Click on that. Any URL is there? Yes, we have a URL. We have a URL in the settings. I can see the URL. I'll copy this URL. I'll paste. But is it actually data lake? It is not a blob. So I'll mention DFS. And here I'll mention the connection. Click on next. Click on next. and provide the passwords. Here we call key. Here we call the key. What is that key? The connection name is ADLS Azure ADLS demo connection. And here I want to connect through via access keys. Very simple. So where you will find the access keys? In Azure, we have a data lake. In the data lake, you have access keys, but we never provide a full access. Remember this point. We never provide full access because if you give this full access, you can use anything. We give only limited access. So click on continue. For as of now, I'm showing you full access. In coming session, I'll show you how to provide limited access by using Azure Key Vault, by using service principal, by using SaaS key. We'll see that one by one. Okay. Can I browse now? I'm going to browse my data from the Azure. ADLS, can you see in Azure we have ADLS? In Azure Data Lake, we have a container, we have a folder called ADLS. Can you see in Fabric? Yes. We have 4 files. Which file you want to bring? You want to just bring a country file? Click on that. I just want to bring country file. I want not only country file, I want to bring all the files. I want all the files with all the extensions. CSV, Parquet, anything I want to bring. Where you want to load? In the lake house. There is a lake house. Which lake house? Bronze Lake House Demo. You can see Bronze Lake House Demo, the name. Here I want to bring. So I'll just simply point the lake house, Bronze Lake House Demo, and I want to load in the files. And the files folder is which folder? Azure ADLS. So simply I will go and I'll browse that file folder. Azure ADLS. Here I want to copy all the files. As of now, I don't have anything. No problem. So first module is ready. Can we execute now? Let me save and run. So this is ready. Let's see if any issues will get. Right? Data is processing. So it's executed successful. Can we see the execution? Here is my execution. What is saying execution? Copying a data from Azure Data Lake generation 2 to Lakehouse. The 4 files are copied. Can we test once? Can we go and see? I'll just refresh here. Any refresh button? Yes. Now, can I see the data? Yes, there is a data. Can you read the data, Parquet data now? In here, we are not able to read the data, right? Parquet data. At least I am not able to understand the data. When I am opening the order details, when I'm opening the order details in the data lake, it is not able to read properly. The same thing if I load it into a lake house, can I read the order data? I'll click on this Parquet file. Can you see the data is easily understandable because your Fabric entirely works on backend Parquet format, Delta format. Do you want to filter any specific things? I want to just see the product ID for so and so specific date, so and so specific date. I want to filter out. Yes, you can do that. Let's example, I just want to filter out on this product ID. Yes, it's very easy. You're doing on file level. You are not converted it. You're just working on the file. You're just working on a file. Clear? Now, do you want to write more conditions? Then you need to change to the SQL analytics endpoint. This will enable you the RDBMS for querying a data. Now earlier we are not able to do, but now we can very simple, we can make this table, we can change this simply by converting to the delta table by using a delta table underscore orders. Simple. See, in a fraction of second, I'm just converting this into the table format, and that table format I can write whatever the queries I want. I can just refresh here, and you can see in the database object owner, I got one order table, and you can write your own conditions now here. Whatever conditions you want, you can write here. Similarly, can I do for country file? Yes, you can do for country file also. Click on new table, and this is my country wise data. Simple. Click on load. You can see this got one table. Can I refresh one more time? I got one more table. Can you see in the analytics? Can I have one more table? Yes. You can see you have one more table analytics, and you no need to load. Even we are not loading any data. And do you want to perform some aggregations? Yes, you can do your aggregation as per your requirements. Uh, let's example, you want to perform some operations, immediate operations you want to perform. Okay, I don't want to load further things. I want to see country wise. What is the sum of these salaries as revenues, as count of some employee IDs, as counts of employee IDs. Immediately, I want to see country wise sale. See, you're seeing like a database, you are applying it. Same like a database, you are writing the operations. Same like database, you are doing operations. Filtration part. In case you want to filter where the country is not null, right? Aggregations. This is called aggregations. An immediate effect I want to see in a visualizations. I want to see as a visualizations. Immediately you can select the query part, you can go for visualizations as Power BI reports. You no need to go open desktop and do the operations. On the immediate effect, you can create your own dashboards. You can create your own dashboard however you want. You can create however you want. You can create immediate effect. Okay, there's the immediate effect. Now I want to see this one is like uh, country wise the revenues. I want to see this graph is basis on country wise counts. I want to see this what is the count, sorry, what is the revenue. The report is ready. Do you require any Power BI team here? No, I don't require any Power BI team to see this report. I can self do all these operations, immediate effect. Do you want to just see what is a Canada, how much revenue it's covered? This is called drill through report. Almost 3 millions, 9 employees. Overall percentage is covered is 38 percentage in the overall revenue. Do you want to save and immediately send this report? You can save your report in the workspace, and immediately you can share this report with your client. Where is that report? The report is over here. Let me make a duplicate. and let refresh. I have a report and got a semantic model also, data modeling. And this is my actually report. This is my actually report. I can share with anyone. Share is option is there. With whom you want to share and where you want to share. This is called analysis, analytics. So we are not focusing much on the reporting part. We are focusing on the back end process. This is the last one. The one which you are doing is the last one. Before that, we are only just in this stage. We are just working on this stage. This is the last module. But that module you can use direct lake. You no need to wait for this. You can perform direct lake. Now let's do the data which is not format, which is not filter. Now I'm going to attach the Spark notebooks to this data and I'm going to do more filtrations. Right? How to do that? So I'm going to again perform one more activity or one more task or item I'm going to create called notebooks, Spark notebooks. Can you see here the notebooks? This is for your big data workload, Spark architecture, which used to process your data and by attaching to the bronze lakehouse. Bronze lakehouse. I'm going to attach my bronze lakehouse and that data I'm going to do some filtration part. Which data you want to filter, you can just select and perform the operations. Orders data. What is this region data? I don't want region data. I just want orders data. And see, you no need to write also. When you don't know, you no need to write the command also. We have an option. What is that option? To read the Spark file, you need to mention the command called spark.read.parquet format. And that information you're storing in data frame called DF, data frame. That is kind of table that we call. So the moment you run, it execute your actually code. So it is reading the Spark file and showing the data. It show you the data. And you do whatever the transformations you want with so and so command. See, this is my actually data. And do you want to see some limit? Dot limit sub 2. There are only two records. And there's one more command called show data frame dot show dot some limit. What is that? Limit will come here, I guess. Limit. It's shown in text format. In the text format, the data. This is backend writing in Spark architecture, where you can see the Spark. Can you create a cluster? Yes, definitely you can create a cluster when you go to the workspace. When you go to the workspace settings, in the left hand side, you can work with Git integrations, DevOps, and there's a data engineer, Spark settings. You can create your any pool. By default, it is working on starter pool. You can create how many worker nodes you require, how many computation power is required. You can use. I hope you people know what is the Spark architecture. If you don't know, I'm going to explain. There is a concept called control node, worker nodes, executor, cluster. These are the components of the Spark. We'll discuss that in detail level in coming sessions. Okay, so you want to do some transformations, you can do that. Let's example, I just want to run this country file dot underscore some country file. So I can run this. This is my actually data. On top of this data, I just want to filter out the data. What you want to filter out? Let's example, I just want to filter out what data? The filter is, I just want to pick the data frame dot country I want to filter out only the India region data. Or let's take USA data. And I want to select only those records, those employee ID I want from this field what we want. Or you can, in case you don't know, you can simply mention like a data frame dot limit some two dot show that comes in the text format. And you can copy what you want from here. This is by using code language. Sir, I don't know about code language. No problem. Without that also you can do it. This is called a PySpark commands. This is the PySpark commands, guys. Okay. So these are like PySpark commands. So I want employee name, employee salary, and country. That's it. I'll mention which what fields I want. Generally in select we will mention all these things, right? Here also we need to mention. If you don't want to mention, no problem. You don't mention it, right? What is that? There is a issue. Where is the issue? Data frame dot filter is data frame dot the country double equal to USA, and I want only this required information. It will show you only that filter data. So this USA data only I want in the table. I don't want other data. So what I can do, I can simply, I will write back. What write back? I will store this information. I will store this information in one another result frame, in another result. And that result I'm going to write back in the tables, right? I want to write back this data. So what is the command to write back? Write back the options called, what is the delta tables dot mode, and the mode I want append dot save as table. In which table? USA. Click execute. What is that issue? Save as table and load. Where is the problem? So delta option is right, correct? We missed out. Mm, save as, save is correct. So in such cases, let's suppose if you are not aware about this code, okay, you need to mention actually nowadays you don't need to remember this code as well. Okay, let's example I want write back. I didn't remember the exact command, no problem. So you need to mention actually format. I didn't mention the format. So mode, what mode we want append the operations. Now I want to save this data into the table called USA. In case if you not remember the command, no problem. Just take this code and ask Chat GPT or any other AI to correct the below code. That's it. It's give you the entire code. You can just, it is executed successfully. Now the same code it is given. You can run this. Simple. In case if you not remember, not for the small syntax. If you work with some code, you can see. Now I got a USA data. Can I see in the bronze lake house? I'll go back to the bronze. Where is the bronze here? I want to refresh and I can see the USA data is ready. Can you see this USA data? Only contain USA data. This is called filtration by using this Apache Spark notebooks. You don't require any Databricks to go and work. Immediate effect you can work with Apache Spark notebooks. Clear? Right. Sir, I don't know what about the next option. If you don't know about this option, you have one more option called Data Flow Gen 2. It is a quite similar as Power Query. Data Flow Gen 2. It is same like Power Query. I know people who are coming background from Power BI, they know easily they can work. So I want to get a data from where? From Lakehouse. From one lake, I want to bring a data. So here I want to bring a data. So click on connect and let's see the same operations I can do by using these files. I can do by using these files. Click continue and click on connect. So this is my operations. So these are like on the right hand side, you can see the steps. Whatever operations you're doing here, it writes the steps. So first row, I want to treat like a header. Use first row as a header. This is my first transformation. And I want the records to be changed in the capital letters. There is a format as I want to convert the second operations to uppercase. And also I want to ignore the blank values. Third transformation. The fourth transformation is I want to perform aggregations group by. I did by using a PySpark or by using the code. Here without code we are doing it. Country wise, the counts I want and the revenue, sum of revenue I want. Sum of revenue, that is e-salaries. Click OK. This is another operations, aggregations. In the Power Query, in Power BI, you don't have option to load the data to the different targets, but here you have that opportunity. Here you have that opportunity. You can see there is a destination. When you go to the home, you will find the destination where you want to load this aggregation data in the lakehouse, warehouse, database, SharePoint. I just want to load in the lakehouse example. Click on connect and I want to load this in the Vinay Tech demo in the bronze lakehouse. I want to load in the database object owner with the name of Power Query. Click next. Click save and run. So you have done the process. Now I'm going to run the flow. Save and run. So where you can see that? You can see that under the execution call monitor tab. You can see in the monitor tab there is a process is running. Do you want to see in detail level? Then you have to go to your workspace and see it is actually running state. And do you want to see the recent runs? And immediately you can run, you can cancel, you can schedule at any time of time. You can schedule here. You can see the recent run. In the recent run also you can see the progress from where it is copying the data. What is the destination here? This is all you can see the options. Still in progress. Let refresh. It actually refreshed the data, but sometimes in a free account, it is not refreshing, it's taking some lag. But that's okay, no problem. It is already loaded the data. Can you see? It is already loaded the data. How many records is loaded? It processed 3 rows. Rows written is 4. Can we see the data? Let's see where I can see the bronze lake house. Here in the database object owner, let me refresh, and in the tables you will find with the Power Query table, and I got these records, 4 records. Clear? So this is how you do a transformations, and you are loading back to the silver layer. Now I am going to apply the another method called incremental process to load the data into the warehouse, and followed by semantic and the reports. Can we do that? Oh, what is the time now? It's already 8. All right, so we'll continue this in the next coming sessions, in regular session that is going to start from mostly by tomorrow. Our team going to be update you. Okay. Any questions? Any doubts? So